You know, in my adult life, there is not many times that I get super excited for a game. And I'm talking about like super hyped for a game. But I'm not gonna lie, that new developer direct by Fable got me hyped, bro. I just pray to God that I do not get burnt again, cause my heart could just not take another Starfield. If y'all don't know, I am a very long-standing fan of Fable. The only Fable that I didn't play was the first one, and that's just because the graphics were so outdated by the time I got into the series. This wasn't worth my time. But I'm not gonna lie, after seeing the gameplay, I could not be more hyped. Alright, so let's talk about a few of the aspects they talked about in the developer direct. The first one being the customization. I wouldn't say I'm too worried about the customization because Fable 3 didn't even let you customize your character at all, beyond just picking if they were a male or a female. So what we did see was adequate for me. They did mention that you'll be able to pick between a few different heads in the game.
You'll be able to pick from a range of different character heads and customize your clothing, hair, skin tone, tattoos, and scars. So the hero you play represents you.
So to insert my own bias in there, I hope we can finally play as a black character. That would be really cool. I know some of my viewers from the Mountain of Caucasus probably don't understand what it's like to play a game and not be able to play a character that looks like you. But if that is an option in the game, I would definitely like to see that. They did touch on the aspect of the game about, you know, good and evil. But previously in Fable games, that would affect your appearance. More of talking about the second game where if you were evil, you would literally spit out devil horns and your skin would get all cracked and stuff. I don't know if this aspect is for everybody, but it would be something I would like to see. Also in previous games, depending on what skills you would choose, it would affect your character's appearance differently. For example, in the older games, I think if you would put more emphasis in like skill or shooting, I think that's what it was, your character would grow taller. Depending on what foods you ate, they would get fatter. So I definitely would like to see that type of mechanical storytelling again. To be completely transparent, again, that's not really a make or break for me, but it definitely was a cool touch that I would like to see added back. All right, to move on to the gameplay. To first talk about combat, the combat looks so smooth. It actually looks great. When I was watching the developer direct, I was actually kind of shocked by how good it looked. And they also did touch upon that you were going to be able to play in different styles. We saw magic, sword combat, and bow combat, all in that same little clip.
Just like the classic trilogy, heroes in our game fight with a combination of strength, skill, and will. Seamlessly blending melee and ranged weapons with magical abilities gives us style-weaving combat, allowing you to show off your personal playstyle against single opponents and large groups of enemies alike. Melee is at the heart of our close quarters combat. You'll use light and heavy combos, often knocking enemies off balance and executing stylish finishers. Swap to your ranged weapon to bypass enemy guard and deal with troublesome flying enemies. And of course, you'll be able to unleash your powerful spells to both manipulate and devastate your opponents.
So that definitely looks very promising to me. I do hope to see a cool variety of spells too, maybe innovating on some new ones. I think the physical combat, at least from like the sword aspect, I think it looks great. I don't think I can ask them to do very much more with that from what I've seen so far. The only thing I would hope they would add is like different spells, maybe innovate on more things, maybe more environmental reactions to certain spells. That will also be really cool, but definitely only time will tell with that. So the other big thing they talked about was the actual RPG aspects of it. And surprise guys, this is an RPG that actually remembers that it's an RPG, which has become increasingly more rare as the years have gone by. They definitely emphasized that there were going to be a lot of choices in the story, but they also emphasized how the everyday things you do will affect how people view you as well.
Maybe the job they go to is working for you because you hired them to work in one of your businesses.
Hey you, working hard? How can I help you, boss?
Maybe the bed they sleep in is in a house you own because you're the landlord.
Or maybe their bed is on the street because you evicted them.
All right.
Oh, it's you. You're awful.
And all of the stuff you do affects what they think of you.
You're a legend.
Because everything you do builds your reputation.
Very impressive. Now that's an hero right there.
Morality has always been super important to Fable. That tension between good and evil underpinned all of the original games. And morality is central to our game too. But we have a slightly different take on it.
For us, morality isn't black and white. There are lots of grey areas. And importantly, morality is subjective. No two people see things exactly the same way. And that's how it works in our game too.
Everything you do earns you a reputation. And every person in Albion will have a different reaction to you as a result.
Hello there.
Yeah, we get it. You're rich.
They'll remember things you did directly to them, they'll love you or hate you for the choices you make, and they will always tell you why. Although, usually from a safe distance.
Our game will never judge you, but the people of Albion will, loudly.
Imbecile.
Your reputation is created by the choices you make, and you are going to make a lot of them. Big choices, little choices, moral choices, and some choices that will actually change the landscape of Albion for the rest of your game.
One thing they touched upon in the story was the example of Dave the Giant and how you could choose to either kill him or spare him. And not only would this affect how people see you, it could affect things like home prices. Obviously, with there being the ability in the game to purchase homes and then rent them out to other people, that will have more consequences than just a few people shouting at you as you walk by.
In the game, you'll meet a character named Dave, an egotistical gardener in a rural village who discovers a magical growth formula. He accidentally turns himself into a giant and becomes a big problem. It'll be your job to deal with him, and ultimately it will be your choice whether to kill him or to spare him. If you kill him, his giant corpse will lie on the farmland just outside of town for the rest of the game.
And that is going to affect house prices. It will also affect what a lot of the villagers think about you.
Especially Dave's sister.
In Fable, the choices you make will define you. What does being a hero mean to you?
See, that aspect of the game is super special, and I truly hope they're able to implement it correctly. Beyond that, just hearing the developers talk about the game with the amount of passion they do is a really good sign to me. Look, you're getting audio recording snatched because I forgot to talk about this in the original video. But one thing I really liked in the developer direct is also how they mentioned that the world is a living and breathing world. Every NPC has a schedule, every NPC has a name. Creating a living and breathing world is something that truly immerses me in the game, so I was happy to hear them talk about that.
Where you could just mess around with the villagers and townsfolk.
And we've built that same experience in the middle of our game too. Buying a house, getting a job, making some money.
Romancing a villager, getting married, having kids.
Fancy a date?
Perfect. You can get to know me better.
Buying another house. Buying every house in Albion. Buying every business in Albion. Getting rich.
Marrying a bunch more people. Having a bunch more kids. Probably getting divorced along the way for good measure.
And this game within a game is unique to Fable. It's systemic, interconnected, and you see the ripple effects of the things you do everywhere you go.
And all of this revolves around the people who live in Albion, who we call the living population. There are more than 1,000 of them, and every single one is unique. Each of them has a name, a role, a daily routine, and their own personality.
I have been waiting on another Fable entry for a while, and I just hope this isn't something that's just seen as a lazy reboot. But all the signs that I've seen so far tell me that it isn't. Like I said, again, I am not trying to get burned again, getting so excited for a game, and it is just nothing like what I want it to be. But I have a really good feeling about this one. I don't think this is gonna be one of those. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all my first thoughts on the Fable trailer. Please drop your comments below and tell me how y'all feel about the trailer. Also, would y'all be down to see me do a video essay of all the Fable games? I'm definitely down to do it. Like I told y'all, I'm a long-term fan of the game, and I definitely do see that being a lot of fun. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Again, comment how you felt about the trailer. And one more thing before you go.
3 months, the picture will be developerized. 3 months? That's no good. Lucian and I had a gentleman's agreement. How dare he betray me? And just when I was in the middle of trying to betray you. How inconvenient.
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I am actually mad excited. No bap.
Bing, 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 bing.